Did you poison her? The day Dylan Wang almost fought Zhang Linghe over by Lu's collapse. A fictional emotional story of betrayal, heartbreak, and a desperate search for truth. The air on set buzzed with routine, cameras adjusting focus, stylists making last-minute touches, makeup artists fixing strands of hair. Bai Lu, as always, walked in with her warm smile, dressed in soft beige, and ready to shoot the next scene for her new historical drama. But by mid-afternoon, everything collapsed. Literally. Bai Lu suddenly stumbled, her expression twisting in pain. Her body went limp, and she crumpled to the floor. Screams erupted. Crew members rushed to her side. Her co-star, Dylan Wang, who had been waiting off camera, was the first to reach her. Bai Lu, look at me. Stay with me, he shouted, cradling her head as her eyes fluttered shut. Within minutes, an ambulance arrived. But what no one expected was what came next. The accusation that would rock the set and threaten to shatter friendships forever. Bai Lu was rushed to Seoul International Medical Center. Hours passed before the doctors confirmed she had suffered from toxic ingestion, a form of food poisoning, but one that suggested intentional contamination. And that's when things got ugly. Rumors traveled fast. Whispers started circulating among the staff. She drank from Zhang Linghe's cup. They argued the night before. She was fine until she ate those snacks he brought in. By the time Dylan arrived at the hospital, eyes red, fists clenched, he wasn't just terrified. He was angry. Zhang Linghe was already there, standing outside by Lu's room, shoulders stiff, face pale. The moment Dylan saw him, he didn't hesitate. He lunged. Security and staff had to intervene. You think I'd hurt her? Zhang Linghe shouted, struggling as Dylan shoved him hard into the wall. She drank from your cup. Dylan roared, and now she's fighting for her life. Do you hear yourself? You're not thinking straight. You had a fight with her yesterday. You said you were done with her. Did you mean dead done? That line shattered the hallway. Zhang Linghe's face contorted with shock and heartbreak. I loved her, he whispered. I still do. Dylan froze for just a moment, but his fists didn't unclench. Then prove it, he growled. Tell me what's in her system. Explain how your drink ended up in her hands. What the public didn't know was this. Zhang Linghe and Bai Lu had once been close, very close. Not publicly dating, but undeniable chemistry and private rumors said enough. They were seen holding hands behind trailers, lingering a bit too long between takes, and whispering things during press interviews that never made it to air. But things changed. Bai Lu grew distant. Zhang Linghe threw himself into other projects. And Dylan Wang entered the picture. Dylan and Bai Lu had formed a bond of their own, one that was deeper, more open, more emotionally raw. The kind of connection that made people start using hashtags like #BaiWangCouple and #faded in real life. And maybe that didn't sit right with everyone. According to production staff, Bai Lu and Zhang Linghe had a tense conversation late into the previous night. I don't want to do this anymore, she reportedly said. Linghe, please stop acting like I owe you my heart. You're throwing us away like we never mattered, he'd said, voice shaking. I'm trying to move forward, she replied. They didn't speak again after that, until she collapsed the next day. Back in the hospital, Dylan stayed beside her bed, holding her hand, whispering over and over, please come back to me. She lay motionless, hooked up to IVs, her breathing stable but shallow. Hours later, the toxicology report came in. Traces of aconitine, a rare and powerful neurotoxin, usually found in wild herbs and deadly in large doses. It was confirmed. This wasn't accidental. Bai Lu had been poisoned, and all signs pointed back to Zhang Linghe's snacks, the ones he brought in from a private herbal vendor. Questioned by authorities, Zhang Linghe maintained his innocence. I brought snacks, yes. They were from my hometown. My grandmother used to send them to me when I was filming alone. Were you aware one of them contained aconitine? No, I would never give her anything dangerous. I didn't even know that herb was in it. Still, the doubt lingered. Even Dylan, sitting outside the interrogation room, wrestled with it. Could it have been a mistake? Or was it heartbreak turned to vengeance? The aftershock of betrayal and the quiet path toward healing. The hallway outside by Lu's hospital room had never felt so still. The fluorescent lights flickered faintly overhead, casting cold shadows on the walls. Dylan Wang stood leaning against the wall, hands shoved deep into his jacket pockets, eyes locked on the closed door in front of him. Inside, Bai Lu was resting, alive, recovering. Outside, Dylan was drowning in guilt, not because he had failed to protect her, but because, for one fragile, terrifying moment, he believed ZHANG LINGHE could have actually wanted to harm her, and ZHANG LINGHE hadn't forgiven him for that. When Dylan and ZHANG LINGHE crossed paths again in the hospital cafeteria days later, the tension was unbearable. Linghe sat at a corner table alone, fingers wrapped around a paper coffee cup gone cold. His eyes were tired, sunken and 1,000 miles away. Dylan approached, his voice low. "You haven't been back to see her." Linghe looked up slowly. "She doesn't need me there. She asked about you." Linghe laughed bitterly. "I'm the guy who brought the poison. Even if it was unintentional, I'll always be tied to what happened. What do you want me to do? Walk in there and pretend like I deserve her forgiveness?" Dylan stood silently for a long beat before sitting across from him. "I punched you," he said quietly. "And I meant it. That day I needed someone to blame. But I was wrong." ZHANG LINGHE didn't respond, but his jaw tensed. "You still love her, don't you?" Dylan asked, staring straight at him. "I never stopped," Linghe whispered. Bai Lu watched the snow fall outside her hospital window. It was the first snowfall of the year. She hadn't spoken much since waking. Not about the accident. Not about the fight. Not about the fact that for nearly 36 hours, her name had been on the edge of death's list. What haunted her most wasn't the pain or the tests or the lingering nausea. It was a memory of Dylan's voice, raw and broken, whispering through the darkness while she drifted in and out of consciousness. "Don't leave me. I'll take your pain. Just wake up, please." And the guilt that followed when she realized how much hurt had rippled from her fall. ZHANG LINGHE blamed Dylan, shattered, and herself, suspended between two hearts she never meant to break. That night, Bai Lu heard a soft knock at her door. She expected a nurse. It was Linghe. He stepped in hesitantly, a bouquet of pale pink roses in hand, her favorite. "I can leave if you'd rather not," he began, voice trailing. "No," she said softly. "Stay." He walked in and sat beside her, the silence between them both familiar and unfamiliar. "I didn't know the herbs were dangerous," he said, finally meeting her gaze. "I swear it." "I know," she replied. "I remembered what happened. I reached for the wrong mug. I should have thrown that drink away, or labeled it, or not brought it at all. It wasn't your fault. It felt like it." She reached out weakly, placing her hand over his. "We both made mistakes," she said. "But I never once thought you wanted to hurt me." Linghe blinked hard, tears brimming in his eyes. "That means everything," he whispered. He had come to check on her with fresh flowers, only to find her already smiling faintly in Linghe's company. Her laugh, small and cautious, floated to his ears like glass. He stepped back before they noticed him, and for the first time since the accident, he felt something sharp inside. Not jealousy, but the terrifying question, was he enough? The honest conversation. That night, Dylan returned to her room. She was alone again, drowsy but awake. "Hey," he whispered. Her smile widened. "Hey." He sat on the edge of the bed, eyes searching hers. "Are you okay?" "I will be," she replied. "But I think we all have healing to do." "You?" "Me." "Linghe." He nodded, then hesitated. "Do you still love him?" he asked quietly. Bai Lu's face softened with the weight of truth. "I loved him once," she said. "A part of me always will. But what I feel for you, it's something else. Something I almost lost." He swallowed hard. "I was so scared, Lu." "I know. I felt it. Even when I couldn't speak, I felt your fear, your love." He kissed her hand. "Promise me we'll stop wasting time," he said. "That we'll stop letting pride and fear do the talking." "I promise," she whispered. A week later, when Bai Lu was discharged, the three of them, Bai Lu, Dylan Wang, and ZHANG LINGHE, issued a joint statement to media. What happened was tragic, but no one intended harm. We asked for space to heal, forgiveness to grow, and for the rumors to stop. We stand united in truth and respect. Fans wept reading it. Some begged for a hashtag by Wang to confirm their relationship. Others demanded Zhang Linghe step away for good. But Bai Lu ignored the noise. For the first time, she chose peace over popularity. In a quiet countryside location for a new shoot, Dylan and Bai Lu sat together between takes. Snow flurried gently around them. "You know," she said, leaning on his shoulder, "it's strange. I almost died, but I don't feel broken. That's because you're stronger than you think." She looked at him. "And you? Are you okay now?" He kissed her temple. "I wasn't," he said. "But every time I look at you, breathing and smiling, I find pieces of myself again." They sat in silence for a while. Then she asked, "Do you think he'll be okay too?" Dylan nodded slowly. "Linghe will find his own peace, just like we found ours." And though trusts have been tested and friendships bent to their limit, they didn't break completely. They learned that love isn't about who wins the heart. It's about who protects it, even when it's bruised. And in the quiet after the storm, 3 hearts beat again. Not perfect, but human. Still healing.